What is going on, guys? This is SparkNuts here, and today I have some news about the Thunder King is risen. It is a new PTR coming up in early January for 5.2. There's some really cool things here, and I'm going to share it with you guys. We got a lot to go through, so this video may take a little time, so I added some music for your comfort. First things first, let's get right to it. Throne of Thunder is the new 13 boss raid, with the last boss being heroic only, kind of like Sinestra, I'm assuming. Warlocks will be able to unlock their fire green epicness in this when they start with the Codex of, I cannot pronounce that, but it starts with an X. You can now purchase your farm where several qualities of life improvements have been made. Retharian is back once again and will reward you with a new head enchant called Crown of the Heavens. This could be awesome. It could be. I mean, if you have a head enchant and even a PvPer doesn't have a head enchant, you have a bit of an advantage. So I can see this being something PvPers are going to want to get. You want to have that edge all the time. There are 2 new world bosses, both of which will be more pleasant experience now. Then anyone in your faction can now tag it, and everyone still gets the loot. So that's pretty cool. The Isle of the Thunder King is the new daily quest zone with the Kirin Tor offensive led by Jaina Proudmoore and the Sun Reaver onslaught led by Lorthamore Theron. Doing quests will unlock the powerful Lightning Forge, which will allow blacksmiths to forge mighty raid-worthy items. Now this is cool because I'm actually going to become a blacksmith really soon, so this is something I'm looking forward to. It also says that people that will be able to create classic weapons from the past. Who knows? That's interesting. Other features can be unlocked by your realm's participation in the war effect. So it's going to be like a realm participation thing, which I think is amazing. Hopefully it's not like Encourage, but it would be cool if it's really similar. The new crafted gladiator gear, what that is it's the gladiator gear that you see now. You'll be able to craft it. Heirlooms will now scale to 85. They've introduced a few new heirlooms as well. I'm going to have a picture showing the shield that I saw that was introduced. These are all going to be in 5.2. And not to mention that they have released already Season 13 and 15 armor sets. I'm only going to go over the Season 13 armor sets here and show them, but that's just because I don't want to make a 35-minute video. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear my voice for 35 minutes, but those of you that do, totally love ya. Alright guys, now that you've seen the epicness of the Season 13 gear, I can't show it to you in full screen like I would, but we're going to go ahead and start off with the Death Knight changes that are coming up in patch 5.2. Now keep in mind these changes are not set in stone, so don't get your feathers all ruffled up in a bunch. Don't let Bukalau mess with you. So let's start off with Death Siphon. Now heals you for 150% of the damage dealt. This is a buff. It was originally 100%. Conversion now costs 5 runic power plus 5 per second thereafter. Was 10 runic power plus 10 per after, so that's a bit of a nerf. The bloodworms summoned by Blood Parasite now have 200% more health. That's pretty cool because I used to kill the crap out of them on purpose. Unholy. Reaping now also applies Icy Touch. Summon Gargoyle no longer costs runic power. Gargoyle Strike now deals shadow and nature damage, was nature only. Ebon Plaguebringer now causes Plague Strike to inflict Frost Fever, in addition to its other effects. So there's a few buffs, a few nerfs. I'm not sure how the Death Knight community is going to feel about that, but if you're a Death Knight, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think on that particular subject, as it is currently in 5.2. Now as for Druids, Druids seem to have gotten a lot of changes, and from my first reaction when I saw this, there's a few nerfs that I noticed that people are going to be upset about, mainly Displaced Beast since it's been redesigned. But let's go ahead and go through the rundown on these different skills and different changes in 5.2 for the Druid class and see how they affect the Druids. Cyclone now has a 30-second cooldown for feral Druids. In addition, it now shares diminishing returns with Banish, Seduction, Bind Elemental, Hex, Freezing Trap, Werven Sting, Gouge, Sap, Hibernate, Paralysis, Polymorph, Ring of Frost, Repentance, and Quaking Palm. Wow. Wow, I mean, I'm not going to say that this is not needed. It is definitely needed, considering Cyclone has been one of the most OP CCs in the game for quite some time. So this change right here, personally, as another PvPer, I'm actually excited to see. Symbiosis, Shattering Blow now has a 1.5 second cast time to align correctly with the warrior version of the ability. Displaced Beast has been redesigned. It now triggers cat form and grants 50% increased movement speed for 4 seconds after teleporting. It no longer activates Prowl. Cenarian Ward now grants 100% increased healing. Frenzied Regeneration now scales 10% more effectively with attack power. Tooth and Claw now scales 10% more effectively with attack power. Mastery for Nature's Guardian now provides 20% more armor per mastery rating. Rejuvenation now costs approximately 9% less mana. Revive and Mark of the Wild now cost 55% more less mana. Fairy Swarm can now snare more than one target at a time. Mass Entanglement now has a 30-second cooldown, was 2 minutes. That is a pretty good buff. Typhoon now has a 30-second cooldown, was 20 seconds. That's a slight nerf. The Treant summoned by Force of Nature now deal more damage and healing, and the Force of Nature tooltip will report the capabilities of these summoned pets. Soul of the Forest. Balance grants 40 lunar or solar energy upon leaving Eclipse. Feral is unchanged. Guardian generates 3 additional rage per mingle. Restoration now grants 70% heals or haste for the next spell cast for the Druids when he casts Swiftman. That's actually pretty neat. Nature's Vigil now has a 90-second cooldown, was 3 minutes, and increases damage and healing done by 10%, was 20. So that's a nerf and a buff with that particular skill right there. But that's what we have for the 5.2 Druid changes. I hope you guys have enjoyed this for the changes coming up for the Druid class and the Death Knight class. To see more, make sure you stick around for the end of the video and click on your class if you want to see specifically your class, or go ahead and go to the next video to see what other changes are being made so you're even more well aware, so you can own them in PvP or beat them in DPS and PvE or outheal your friends' face off. Anyway, this is Sparknuts, and as always, remember to keep the fire burning. Sparknuts out.